So the question is, can our exercise or movement program allow us to actually learn to embody natural principles and actually learn them on a visceral, experiential level? And can they allow us to take our head knowledge, meaning we read about things, we think about things, we philosophize about things, but that's different than actually feeling it and experiencing it and tasting it. Meaning you can read a menu about a meal, you can read a recipe, but until you've actually tasted that meal, unless you've actually prepared that meal and tasted the ingredients, you don't really know what it is and what it's about. Likewise, in many New Agey or spiritual sort of circles, we talk about concepts and talk about principles and ideas, and it usually just stays here and doesn't really register down in the actual body, or doesn't actually hit the non-thinking level of understanding, meaning the feeling and direct perception way of understanding the world. So in the previous video, we talked about intelligent movement, what that is and why that's important. And I'm making multiple videos on this series because this is a vastly and incredibly impactful aspect of our overall health strategy. Because health and longevity and these sorts of things isn't just about, your mindset. It's not just about taking the right things and not eating this and eating that and being this label or not being that label. No, it's really about a solid foundation. It's about the simple things that we do on an everyday, regular basis that then gradually add up over time. And that's really the understanding that we need to come to and really move away from this sort of lazy kind of jumping from this thing to that thing to this thing to that thing and always searching for the next big thing that's going to fix us and save us and fill our deficiencies and make us a better person. That mindset is not really successful and is not really going to lead to the sort of results that we're wanting to create in our lives. So the first thing is that if we're actually practicing and participating in a system which has a real solid philosophical basis and a real lineage that's actually traceable and actually has its roots in someone who really sort of understood the whole picture, then that's going to cover a lot of the ground. Now, what do I mean by natural principles? Things that are observable in nature that are natural. For example, the major tenet of nearly all holistic health and traditional strategies is where there is movement and free flow, there's health. Where there's blockage, stagnation, and fixation, there's dis-ease. Now this is an obvious natural principle that we can observe in our body, we can observe in our mind, in our emotions, and out in nature. Also yin and yang, or expansion and contraction, or polarity. We can easily observe those phenomena all around us. Also the 5 elements, whether we're using the elemental understanding of the Chinese system or the Ayurvedic system or the Tibetan system or the other permutations that many different cultures have. These are some examples of natural principles, which are cool to read about and think about and talk about, but that's just one step. So if we really want to progress, we need to say, okay, well, it's cool to read and learn, but we also need to get it in the body. We need to practice it, which gets us back to our intelligent movement system. Part of what makes that intelligent and why I call it an intelligent movement system, because number one, it makes us more intelligent, and number two, it helps us make our body more intelligent as well. Now, let's explain these 2 points. The first point is that most people think intelligence is just accumulating a bunch of knowledge and thinking about things and getting really adept at thinking about thinking, talking about talking, talking about talking about talking, talking about other people talking about talking, and all of this sort of thing. And someone looks at someone who can do that very well and say, wow, very intelligent, wow, way to go. But in reality, to me, that is very unintelligent. It's a certain kind of intelligence, but it doesn't mean someone is intelligent. Because most people that get really caught up in that are ignoring feeling, they're ignoring intuition, they're ignoring creativity, and they're ignoring inspiration. They're ignoring their basic drives and desires. And they usually are sort of at war with themselves, which that's not very intelligent. And then we can also look at emotional intelligence, feeling-based intelligence, intelligence that is non-verbal, intelligence that is not rational, meaning a sense of knowing or a sense of really tuning in and tapping into things, not in a sort of weird or esoteric or psychic way, but in a basic, common sense, intelligent way. Because it's not that developing higher forms of intelligence is supernatural or super normal, which that's completely a misnomer and completely absurd, because if it was supernatural, then it wouldn't exist. If it was not normal, then it wouldn't exist. So in the fact that it is normal, and that the fact that it is possible and it exists in many people, means that it's normal and natural like everything else. And it's just a matter of developing that. It's just a matter of investing the time, the energy, and the attention, and actually cultivating that skill, cultivating that sort of dexterity. You know, people look at Michael Jordan and say, wow, that was supernatural. It wasn't supernatural. He just cultivated his skill set to a high degree. He just worked with a set of principles to a high level. Now there's many other great basketball players that are right up there with him, but he was the first person that came along. Also, too, we might look at people who do yoga. We might look at martial arts people. We might look at people who achieve mastery and say, wow, that's supernatural. In reality, it's natural because it exists. And number two, they're taking principles and just refining it to a very, very high degree. So that's one way that we can understand that it can make us more intelligent, is because it gets us back in our body, gets us back in our nervous system, rebalances our energy so everything isn't up here all the time, gets us back in tune with our feelings, with our instincts, with our intuitions, with a real feeling sense of what's going on around us in our environment. So the second thing of how it can make our body more intelligent and more in harmony with nature is because if we have this sort of intelligent movement system, say we're doing Tai Chi or Qigong or an internal martial art or even some forms of yoga, what I say is train outside as much as possible. Practice outside as much as possible. And most people say, oh, but it's cold. Oh, but it's raining. Oh, but it's hot. Oh, no, I want to stay inside. I want to stay in the air conditioning. I want to be in my box. And this is really a way that we're domesticated. I'm not saying it's good or bad, because I love heating and air conditioning just as much as every other human being. But it doesn't mean we should sort of be addicted to it, to where our body's so stupid that it can't handle actually what's going on in the real world, which is outside, which are seasons, which is change, which is transformation. So if we really want to be in harmony with nature and harmony with what's going on, obviously we should spend time outside and move our bodies in regular ways and train and breathe and meditate and move outside, every day if we can. Train as much as we possibly can outside through all of these different seasons, which over time makes our body more adaptable and breaks down all of our sort of stupid programming about, what is good and what is bad, and really allows our body's real natural intelligence to start to develop and start to come out. Which there are people who take it to the incredible degree. There's the guy, the Iceman, who just runs long distances in nothing but a pair of shorts, and is able to immerse himself in ice cold baths, and his body is fine. His body isn't stressed. That's not to say that you and I want to do that, but that's just an example of someone who took the basic idea and took it all the way there and invested the time and energy. So in these few ways, we can see how an intelligent movement system, like the things that we've discussed, can make us more intelligent, can make our body more intelligent as well, which as a sum total makes our being or our whole self much more complete, much more balanced, and much more harmonious in its functioning and in the circulation of its energy. It allows us to thereby experience natural principles in our body in a way that's embodied in real and actionable and tangible, not some head stuff. Because you can memorize something and learn something, but what happens? You forget it. You don't use it, and it becomes goes to the side. But when you experience something in your body, it stays with you for a very long time, if not forever. You think about different foods that you've eaten, you can remember what they taste like, even if you hadn't eaten them in years. I haven't had any fast food, like McDonald's and such, in, 8, 9 years, but I can remember exactly what it tastes like. Foods I had when I was a kid that I haven't had in 20 years, I remember exactly what they taste like, just like I had them yesterday. So just in a different sort of sense that we can tune into. So in the end, it's about becoming more whole, which we're talking about holistic health, being whole, becoming holy, which is a different subject. But that's another way that these intelligent movement systems make us more intelligent, allow us to move more intelligently at the same time. Also, for the health benefits, if we're spending time outside, obviously that's going to get us more fresh air. It's going to get us maybe more sunlight. It's going to get us more in tune with nature. Maybe birds and squirrels and animals that are all around us. We start to get a feeling sense for what's going on around us. Meaning we might be sitting there working out and doing some qigong or yoga. We might feel something coming up behind us. We might think, what is that? Oh, boom, there goes a bird. Oh, there goes a squirrel. Or oh, there goes a rabbit. Or oh, here comes a person walking. Meaning it starts us actually getting back in tune with our instincts and our surroundings so that we're not so unintelligent that we're just trapped and bamboozled by our thoughts all the time. The last thing we'll talk about is how these systems move the joints, hopefully through their full range of motion. And then what are some other characteristics and criteria for this intelligent movement system? We talked about these few things so far. So what are the last few pieces to sort of tie all of this together? First is that a major characteristic would be moving as many joints in the body through as many ranges of motion as possible all at the same time. So the body is a very complex thing. We have so many different joints, muscles, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, fascia, so many different things. And the body can move in so many different ways. The body is designed to move in so many different ways. But in our regular everyday routine, how much do we really move? Really not at all. Sit down, stand up, walk. Oh, I'm going to go exercise. Oh, I'm going to go walk. Okay, how much range of motion is this really? Oh, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go to the gym. Not much range of motion there. Oh, I'm going to do some pull-ups. Still not much range of motion there. So the body can move in so many different ways. We can twist and turn and go overhead, and the shoulder joint can do so many different articulations, can do so many different things. Our neck, every single joint can move, and if we're moving or not moving, that's going to influence the quality of the synovial fluid in the joint, the amount of energy circulation that we get in our joints, and basically how good we feel. So that's a major characteristic. Another major characteristic might seem a little bit unrealistic to most people, but to me, it's the norm. It's how it should be. So an intelligent movement system should be able to train strength, flexibility, endurance, coordination, balance, relaxation, meditation, calm, all of these different things all at the same time. And energy circulation, meaning feeling energy circulating in the body, learning to circulate energy in the body, learning to feel what the different organs are doing all at the same time. Which might sound like a lot because most people think, oh, my movement system, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to get more flexible. I'm going to go lift weights, I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to go run, I'm going to get fit. It's like it's very, very minimal. It just trains one little thing. But why not find something that trains all of it, all at the same time? Then you have a, quote, intelligent movement system, and you don't really have to worry about anything else because it's a system that allows you to actually use your body in an intelligent way and thereby make you more intelligent, make your body more intelligent, help your body move more intelligently, efficiently, and effectively. So, it's been a lot of explanation, but it's a major topic. So, if you have any questions or comments, post them below and I'll talk to you soon.